Welcome in. What's Right with Nick Wright, episode 388, as we get to week 10. I can't believe it. Week 10 in the NFL as we react to the trade deadline and a little bit of NBA as well, as the Lakers kept us up quite late last night. And Luka reminded everyone, more on this in just a second, that Wemby might be coming, but he's not quite there yet. And we will, in fact, you know what? We will, before we get to trade deadline, we're going to do a little bit on the Lakers and the Spurs. But this episode of the show is brought to you by Boost Mobile, and we'll get right to it, Damonza, straight to voicemail. Brought to you by Boost Mobile. Zion out 7 to 10 days with a hamstring injury. At this point, let's just send in the Zion for Ja trade. Ja's lost his joy. The Grizzlies are a mess. The Pelicans are a mess. Like, they were 1-2 in a draft. Just see if that fixes anything for either one of these guys. I have two. Which of my fake Ja trades do you like more? My 3-team maligned Southeastern point guard trade of Ja to Charlotte, LaMelo to Atlanta, Trey to Memphis, or Ja for Zion straight up. Which one do you like more?
The first one. I think the Pelicans probably want Zion more than they want Ja. Zion seems to be turning a corner. He's just got a hamstring thing going on right now.
Oh, yeah. He's turning the corner, except for the fact that he is now hurt again. I mean, and the Pelicans drafted Derek Queen, who's a little redundant with Zion. I don't know. Both teams are a mess, if we're being totally honest. And this is, if I didn't say this, straight to voicemail brought to you by Boost Mobile. Thursday Night Football, Raiders at Broncos. And then the Lakers get a great win last night against the Spurs. So let's just talk about that for a second. Luka's been absolutely historically great in the games he's played. Only Wilt has ever scored more points through the opening 5 games of a season, and he did it twice, than Luka's even 200 through the first 5 games this year. And the Spurs have been excellent. And I understand the Spurs are dealing with injuries of their own. But it is hard not to look at the Lakers with no LeBron, with Austin having missed time, and obviously Luka's missed some time as well, sitting at 7-2, alone in second place in the Eastern Conference, only behind the Thunder and and shockingly, the Chicago Bulls for overall record in the NBA. But it's very hard to look at Luka doing what he's doing and the Lakers sitting at 7-2 and then not also look at the Mavericks doing what they're doing, sitting in dead last in the Western Conference at 2-6, and not revisit what will go down in history as one of the most inexplicable, indefensible, unforced errors a franchise has ever made. And I know there was a very brief moment when people were like, well, now that they've gotten Cooper Flagg, maybe it all works out. Damonza, I'm here to tell you, if Nico Harrison today called up Rob Pelinka and said, we will trade you Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg for Luka Doncic, they would say no. Yeah. That is, and the how good is Luka really conversation that was briefly had last year was categorically insane from start to finish. And up to this moment of the season, he's been either the best or the second best player in the sport. Giannis is playing at a just incomprehensible level, and Luka has missed time. But Luka giving you a nice, tidy 40, 11, and 9 on 50% shooting, despite shooting 30% from 3, has just been not shocking because you know how good he is, but remarkable. And it's why, a lot of people, this isn't me picking on Bill, but Bill probably the most noteworthy of the folks that coming into the year were just totally, unabashedly, unequivocally writing the Lakers off as having any chance to be a real contender. And the reason that struck me as a little myopic was, man, if you have, all of NBA history tells us, if you have a clear-cut top 3 guy, unless the team is just in total shambles around him, you're at least contender adjacent. And Luka has been a clear-cut top 3 guy. Obviously, again, Giannis has been great. Shea has been unbelievable. And the Thunder losing last night, shocking, because it's shocking that they lose. That team is going to win 70 games if they want to. But the Lakers surviving this stretch of no LeBron, Luka in and out of the lineup, beating the Spurs, who have been red hot.
Reeves has been out a
and
little
now,
bit too.
Say it again?
Even Reeves has been out. Like all their,
exactly.
all their main guys.
Yeah, I mean, and Reeves obviously playing great. And now if you're the Lakers, I don't know when LeBron's coming back, but over the next 2 weeks, you have Atlanta, Charlotte, OKC, brutal. New Orleans, Milwaukee, that's a road trip. And then Utah. So you've got 7 games over the next 2.5 weeks. All of them on the road except for 1 game against Utah before you start a homestand, which is maybe where they would hope LeBron could come back. And the expectation should be to go 5-2 in that 7-game stretch, at the very least 4-3, and be 11-5, 12-4 through the first month and a half of the season, really the first month of the season, which would be phenomenal. And so Luka's just playing out of his mind, just absolutely out of his mind. And Austin, when Luka wasn't there, was playing out of his mind. And you thought I was going to skip it, Damonza. Credit where it's due.
Hey, you got some minutes last night?
No.
My God.
I'm not talking Bronny. I'm talking, I don't know if it's fair to call him your guy, but a guy.
DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah, dominating.
Yeah, he showed up last night.
He's been good.
Yeah.
He was really rough very early on, but 22-10 last night when they were super shorthanded, 29-10 against the Blazers. He's been he's played well for him. And so fair is fair. Credit to Pelinka. A lot of credit to JJ Redick, who has this team ready to play every night. And Jake LaRavia's done well. They're legit. 7-2 beating the Spurs without Austin Reeves. And obviously no LeBron. And they did try to blow it at the end, but whatever. Like,
you didn't
that's a real win.
To be here yourself either, though, did you?
No,
right,
not at all. No, I didn't write them off because of the respect for Luka and because I felt like when LeBron comes back, they'll still be one of the only teams in the league with 2 top 10 guys. Because that's what we'll see what LeBron is this year. But last year he was a clear top 8 guy. But no, I didn't think they'd be able to handle LeBron missing the first 10 games plus, Austin being out of the lineup some, Luka being out of the lineup some, and I mean they've been excellent. So credit to the Lakers. All right, let's get to the trade deadline.
super busy trade deadline yesterday, and a lot of it formulated around the Jets getting rid of players because they can't do anything, trading over to Dallas and Indianapolis. Which team would you like to start with first in the whole deal?
I want to start with the Cowboys.
Okay.
So
yeah,
go ahead.
After trading for Logan Wilson, Dallas followed it up by trading a Hall first and a second, I believe, for Quinnen Williams.
Yep.
Jerry Jones is talking about how he wants to win now because of his age. Doesn't it kind of seem like their season is already over?
Well, their season's definitely already over. And I explained this in short form on TV, but I am going to lay it out further here. They barely got more for Micah Parsons than they traded away for Quinnen Williams. So let's do the actual accounting of what the Cowboys got for Micah Parsons, okay? They got the next 2 Packer first-round picks, which we obviously don't know what picks those will be, but this year, the Packers right now have the 24th pick of the draft. It would, it could go up if they go on a real playoff run. It could go down if they get bounced in round 1, but that's what they have. And then next year's Packers first round pick. And they got Kenny Clark. More on him in a moment. For Quinnen Williams, they traded away their own second round pick, which right now would be the 46th pick of the draft. So again, in the Micah trade and Quinnen trade, they received what would be the 24th pick and sent out what would be the 46th pick. So a 22 pick jump. We'll see how those move, but that's a good framework. And then they will be sending out whatever is the better pick between their own first after next season and the Packers first after next season. So there is no chance whatsoever, none, that for the 2027 first rounder, that they receive a better pick from the Packers than they give to the Jets, because whatever the better pick is, they give to the Jets. And then you add to it that because you have traded for Quinnen Williams and signed Oshie Odigizua to an extension, you almost assuredly are, this offseason, cutting Kenny Clark. The best case scenario for the Cowboys is the difference in draft compensation they gave up for Quinnen Williams compared to what they received for Micah Parsons is the equivalent of about a third-round pick. And the worst case scenario is they actually ended up giving up more for Quinnen Williams than they received for Micah Parsons. And you might say, how could that be? Well, here's how it could be. The Cowboys end up drafting 10th in this year's draft. So that would be second round pick 42. The Packers make it, forget even win the Super Bowl, make it to the conference championship game. They give up, so they give to Dallas first round pick 29. So that's a 13 pick delta. Next year, the Packers make it back to the conference championship game. They give Dallas the 29th pick again. And next year, Dak Prescott gets hurt. The Cowboys have a year from hell. And they end up getting, or hell, they just have the same year they had this year, where Dak doesn't get hurt. But they have a bad year. They have the 10th pick of that draft, and they give that pick to the Jets. It is absolutely on the board that what they receive from Green Bay are 2 picks in the late 20s, and what they give to the Jets is a pick in the low 40s and a pick in the teens, which is when you are sending out a more valuable, younger player, just totally unacceptable. And I understand Quinnen is cheaper than Micah, but that is not enough to offset the difference in value of the players, impact on the field. And so this Cowboys move, even if Quinnen Williams is really good, and I think he is as baffling of an NFL trade as you'll see for years. And it totally goes against, Damonza, Jerry's whole take, which was trading Micah.
Defense better, or stop the run.
Well, no. The stop the run part of it does work, because Quinnen Williams is better at that than Micah. But he kept saying we'll be able to get 3 or 4 players. You got 2 extra picks for Micah. You gave 2 extra picks up for Quinnen. And again, the Cowboys agreeing to send the better of the 2 picks they have in the 2027 draft is unfathomable. Because here's the other piece of it. Let's say Jordan Love a year from now gets hurt, and the Packers fall off a cliff in a very difficult NFC North, and the Packers have the 6th pick of the draft 2 years from now. You don't get that now. That goes to the Jets. So it's
right in line with everything else that's been going on with the Cowboys and Jerry. It makes sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense for Jerry to be doing it.
Yes. It's just awful business. Now, the Colts piece of it is more understandable, but somehow even riskier. So go ahead.
The Colts are seeming to go all in on Daniel Jones. They traded 2 first-rounders to get Sauce Gardner. Do you think that this is a little bit too early for them?
I respect the guts, and unlike the Dallas move, you at least see the logic of it. The logic of it is, we have our quarterback, we like our team, we are trying to win right now. Let's add a blue chip player, which Sauce has been at the first 2 years of his career. He has not been the last year and a half, but he's young and he's on a cost control deal. They obviously believe he can get back to it. So that's the logic of it. It is the exact same logic that led to the Dolphins trading for Tyreek, that led to the Packers trading for Micah. We love our team, think adding one more piece can put us over the top. So I understand it. I think it's one of the riskiest moves I have seen a team make in 10 years. So here are the circumstances over the last decade, Damonza, that teams have traded away multiple first-round picks for a player. Not during the draft, but for an established player. The Chicago Bears traded 2 first-round picks for Khalil Mack. They did that 1 year after spending the 2nd pick of the draft on Mitch Trubisky. They were wrong, but they thought, we've got our quarterback, let's go add to the defense. The Rams traded 2 first-round picks away for Jalen Ramsey. They did that months removed from going to the Super Bowl with Goff. They said, we've got our quarterback, let's add to the defense. Again, they ended up souring on that quarterback, but they believed they had the quarterback. The Seahawks traded away 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams in 2020. They believed Russell's, going to be our quarterback long-term. Let's go add another piece. Again, that trade was a catastrophe, but they had real reason to believe their quarterback was in place. Obviously, the Packers traded away 2 first-rounders for Micah, and I might be leaving one out. For the Colts to be doing this, not only when it's just been a half season of good Daniel Jones, but, and this part's important, Damonza, they don't even have Daniel Jones locked up on a contract, is stunning.
I mean,
the Bears, go ahead.
I mean, Daniel could leave or something, or leave them high and dry, or
no, but they are now over a barrel on pay.
Oh, it's 100%. Because when it comes time, cap space is already too high. That's fair.
Well, and it's how are you going to replace me? You don't have a first round pick this year or next year.
Yeah.
And the franchise tag number is $46 million.
Daniel Jones strikes me as a team friendly type of guy.
Buddy, he already got 4 years, 160 from the Giants when they were in this situation. I don't no. Like the Colts have put themselves in a position now where Daniel is going to get, I'll call my shot on it right now, 4 years, $180 million, $45 million a year. And the other piece of it that is wildly risky if you're the Colts is even if you believe Daniel Jones is just good, bad circumstances, bad luck, bad coaching with the Giants, dating back to his last year of college, there has been one season he was fully healthy. So you are putting all, in college he broke his collarbone, in the pros he's torn his ACL, had a neck injury, had an ankle, had a hamstring. You are putting all your eggs in this basket in a way that is stunning to me. Stunning. They have painted themselves in a corner where, we saw 8 good games from Daniel Jones. I know they've played 9, but the last one was awful. 8 good games from Daniel Jones. And now we are going to remove any ability we have to pivot at that position. And it's gutsy. It is... It's a real go all in move. I just wonder how it's going to feel if this season ends with them hosting a wild card playoff game against the Patriots and getting beat. And they're one and done. And it's like, okay, this is just our team. Now, I wouldn't have done it. I also think it is fair to ask, is that too much to pay for any corner?
Gardner? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for any corner.
Is a lot.
And so, would it shock anyone? Here's the question I would have. Because when the Packers traded for Micah, it would have shocked people if the Packers this year ended up with the 9th pick of the draft, right? That would have been stunning.
Right.
Would it be shocking if next year at this moment the Colts are 3-6? Would that shock people? Wouldn't shock me. And so it is their pass defense was bad. Lou Anarumo now has probably the best corner he's ever had since he's been a coordinator. It's a hell of a move, but it would have been too rich for my blood. That's the thing. The Cowboys and the Colts making moves that I think would have been insane for the Chiefs or the Bills to make is something else. All right, let's get to the other side of these.
The Jets, they now have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. So surely they can't mess this up, right? They're probably going to get on the track.
Well, I mean, this is the exact situation they found themselves in, which got them Quinnen and Sauce and Garrett Wilson. And then they're now full-blown blowing it up.
Just got to get the quarterback right.
Yeah, so I respect the Jets recognizing we are nowhere close. And by the time we get close, Quinnen is probably out of his prime.
Right.
He turns 28 here in a couple weeks. And Sauce, I'm sure they wanted to keep, but 2 firsts is just too rich of a price, particularly when it's 2 firsts from a team that's not like an established every year good team. And so now, yeah, you've got to draft smart. And if I'm the Jets, I am potentially in this year's draft, I'm open for business as well. I might move down. If there's not a quarterback I love, I might be willing to trade my own pick, which could be, the first, second, third, fourth pick of the draft, for even more draft capital and try to fully rebuild the team. It is good process. They just have to hit on these players. And I understand people can say, the draft's a crapshoot. Here's the thing. Yes, the draft is a crapshoot, but the fact of the matter is this. If you have a no-doubt franchise quarterback on your team, unless your quarterback's name is Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts, that quarterback was taken in round 1. People can talk all this stuff about, you can find quarterbacks anywhere. No, every single team that has the no doubt franchise quarterback, that quarterback was a first round pick, except for Dak and Jalen. That's it. Like, who are the no doubt franchise quarterbacks? They were first round picks. So the Jets acquiring a bunch of first round picks for a team that hasn't been able to get quarterback right is obviously something they need to do. And so I don't begrudge them that. I do feel badly for their fans because it's just perpetual rebuild.
Justin Fields too, man. It's like we just gave away everybody because you're trash.
Well, yeah. Fields isn't the guy. He isn't the guy. What's the follow-up?
I like Justin Fields. I felt bad for that. I like Justin Fields. But Kansas City, they were trying to trade a 4th for Breece Hall. The Jets wanted a 3rd. Are you surprised that they couldn't get anything done there?
No, listen. Trading a 3rd round pick for 8 games of Breece Hall and then he walks in free agency would have been bad process. I think the Chiefs' offense is going to be fine. They need the offensive lineman back, and the offense is going to be great. I'm not worried about the offense. I would have liked them to try to trade for a pass rusher. I thought what Philly did in adding Jalen Phillips was good. But, that is, I also, if I were Veach, I probably would have also held my ground because it's like, really, Jets? You're going to, after trading away Sauce and Quinnen, you're going to hold on to a running back who you're just going to let walk in free agency? And the Jets were like, yeah, we are. But I would have played that game of chicken. I'm surprised the Jets didn't agree to it. All right, today's show is brought to you by our new presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. Great week to try out the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app, because there's so much going on. Not just Week 10 football, NBA, college football, college hoops, all share the stage. There's always something to bet on. If you haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet yet, there's still time for you to get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Just place a $5 bet, and if it hits, you get not only your winnings, but $150 in extra bonus bets. And if you're looking for an edge before you lock in, there's the Stats Hub on Hard Rock Bet, loaded with trends, streaks, and stats to help guide your picks. Numbers don't lie, and neither does the data in there. Here's some that stood out to me. As an underdog, San Francisco has covered 4 straight against the Rams. A little Shanahan-McVay stat there. Philly has won 9 in a row against the NFC North. They are dogs in Green Bay Monday. They started the year off last year by beating Green Bay. They ended Green Bay's last year by beating them in the playoffs. Check out the Stats Hub now. Get the edge and bet with confidence. The Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app's the only legal sportsbook for whenever you're in Florida, and it's also live in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado. Coming soon to more states too. Plus, Hard Rock Bet offers new promos every single day. So whenever you're listening, just open the app and check out what they've got any day of the week. Download Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit. All right, Damonza, let's keep going.
All right, creams of the crop in the NFC are going head-to-head in Philly and Green Bay. The Packers are coming off a weird loss to the Panthers, and Philly's coming off a bye. What are you expecting in this game?
So, listen, I give Philly credit for being, aggressive around the edges in at the trade deadline, and not making a drastic move of trading A.J. Brown. I didn't think that was 0%. I thought there was a chance. And
Same.
The fact of the matter is they would have been a worse team without A.J. Brown, and they're trying to defend their Super Bowl. Now, do I think they could revisit that trade this offseason, depending on how the rest of the year goes? Sure. But I think it was good for them to stand pat. This is a huge spot for Green Bay, and oddly not that big of a spot for Philly. And here's what I mean. Because of Jaden's injury and the Commanders just being bad and the Cowboys being 3-5-1, Philly is more than the Colts even. Just a lock to win that division. There is no team right now in the entire NFL that is more guaranteed to win their division than Philadelphia. So now they, of course, would love the 1 seed, and the NFC, they have a real shot at the 1 seed because you've got to think, Damonza, the NFC West teams are going to beat each other up a bit in divisional games, with Seattle, the Rams, and the Niners all having 6 wins. And the NFC North teams are going to beat each other up a bit in the division, with Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago all having 5 wins, and Minnesota sitting there with 4. So you'd have to anticipate that the 1 seed at this point is either going to be Philly or Tampa. And Philly obviously beat Tampa, so they have the head-to-head tiebreaker. So Philly is really well positioned, which is why this game is not critical for them. But they are coming off a bye, and I'm sure they want to see, is Saquon going to, was week 8 for Saquon a return to form, or was it a bit of was it a blip in what's going to be a tough year? Green Bay, on the other hand, their margin for error is evaporating. They are currently leading the NFC North but barely. And there is absolutely a world that exists where if Green Bay loses this game, they wake up, what is this, Monday night? Tuesday morning. I think it's the Monday night game. Am I right? You guys tell me. I don't even remember. Whatever. They wake up next week, Tuesday morning, and they are on the outside looking in of the playoff picture. They could be the 8th seed come Tuesday if they lose this game. And if you look at their schedule, pal, they only have one soft spot left at the Giants. But they play Philly, then they're at the Giants. They have 5 divisional games left, both games against Minnesota, both games against Chicago, at Detroit, and then the non-divisional games are at Denver and home for Baltimore. So I still think Green Bay has super high upside, but you lose this game, so, there's going to be potentially a really good NFC team left without a chair. And I don't think that's going to be Green Bay. And Green Bay, again, like that win against Detroit to start the year, looms really large in how we view them. Them dominating the Commanders that next Thursday when they did have Jaden is significant. And they, that was a really good win they had over the Steelers. But losing to the Browns, blowing that game against Carolina, and tying the Cowboys right now puts them in a precarious spot. So this is a big game for Green Bay. Big enough game that I thought long and hard about it for our pick show, which people will hear tomorrow. We'll get to that later. Well, this is a big spot for Green Bay. And I wouldn't want to be facing Philly off a bye. A healthy Eagles team off a bye makes me a little
Last time Jordan
anxious.
loved seeing the Eagles wasn't so good either. Might have had his most mistakes in recent memory.
Oh, absolutely. And so, it's a huge spot. All right, let's get to Rams-Niners.
Rams and Niners are facing off this weekend, and this could have huge implications on the playoff bracket. We still don't know who the quarterback is for San Francisco long term, but Shanahan says that as long as Purdy's good, it's going to be him. Who has more to lose or more to prove in this game between the Rams and Niners?
Well, listen, so Shanahan's been very adamant Purdy's their guy, and that's fine. I don't think Mac Jones is better than Purdy. I just don't think Purdy's $54 million a year better than Mac Jones. And I think Mac is kind of proving that week in, week out. And I think Shanahan has done a brilliant job this season. Here's what I'll say about the Niners. If they win this game, they are going to make the playoffs. You win this game, you get to 7-3, and they still have games left against the Cardinals, the Browns, and the Titans. That's obviously not all their games. They have the Panthers, which is not an easy spot. Bears, Seahawks is also on their schedule. But if they can get to 7-3 by beating the Rams, you just beat the bad teams on your schedule. You get to 10, get one more win against they have Panthers, Colts, Bears, Seahawks are the winning record teams on their schedule. You're going to be 11 wins. So this is, for the Niners, it would be pretty remarkable given their injuries start 7-3. My concern for the Niners is they just keep pressing the Christian McCaffrey button again and again and again, and I worry about his ability to hold up over the course of the entire season. The Rams, on the other hand, listen, right now, this moment, Matt Stafford's probably the NFL MVP. And they've just been awesome. They absolutely can win the Super Bowl. With that said, you lose this game, you probably head into week 11 in third place in your own division because Seattle's legit. Seattle is legit. And the Niners will have just beaten you. So I do like the Rams in this spot. And I think the Rams are a legit contender no matter what happens here. To me, this game is more about if the Niners can steal it at home. And we know there's the whole Shanahan-McVay, kind of coaching rivalry. Then it all but stamps the Niners playoff ticket. Hey guys, it is the NBA season, and I haven't gone yet, but I am very excited to go see the Knicks at MSG one of these nights coming up, which is why I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek. SeatGeek just helped our guy, Victor said? He bought some tickets to go see the Clippers at the Intuit Dome. He used code Wright10. More on that in a second. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. More than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. And with the NFL and NBA seasons here, now is the perfect time to get to a game. Again, you guys have heard me talk about using SeatGeek all the time. And let me just look right now. What is the first Knicks game that I would like to go to? Oh, a week from Friday? A little Friday night basketball at MSG? Heat at Knicks? Looking at it right there. Couple tickets? No, I'd have to do 3 tickets because Deanna would want to go. Buying a ticket for your little sister, Damonza, is always a little annoying, but SeatGeek helps me out. So there it is, right there. You can just scroll through it. Big green dots means it's a great deal. Little red dots means stay away from them. Scores at 1 to 10. You want to score as close to 10 to know you're getting the best deal possible. Every ticket, of course, backed by their buyer guarantee. And guys, if you can use code WRIGHT10, 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 you get 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. 10% off any tickets with promo code WRIGHT10. Make sure you click the link in the description, download the app, and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you to my friends at SeatGeek. All right, Damonza, let's get to the Seahawks.
All right, the 6-2 Seahawks that lead their division made a move in the trade deadline, trading for wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. JSN leads the NFL in reception yards, but outside him, nobody on Seattle has 300-plus yards. You said Seattle could be the 1 seed, and they were also near the top of tiers. What does this do for them? Where are they at now?
Listen, I think Seattle's legit.
Yeah.
I think Darnold is now on like 25 games of just being a high-level quarterback. I understand the playoff game was brutal for him. Mike McDonald's been awesome. The defense has been awesome. JSN is right now the first-team all-pro wide receiver, right? I think Rashid Shaheed is really good. And so Seattle, I am more than penciling Seattle in for the playoffs. But they have 4 awesome games remaining. Both games against the Rams, a home game against the Colts, and Week 18 at the Niners, which Seattle could be playing for the division, or as I said, playing for the 1 seed. The Niners could be playing to make the playoffs. Seattle has been just flatly an outstanding team this year. And they have 2 losses. One, they led the Niners late. Purdy has a touchdown drive in the waning moments to give the Niners a 4-point lead in week 1. Darnold answers right back, gets the Seahawks in the red zone, and then fumbles. That's one of their losses. And their other loss was a 3-point loss to Tampa when I'm trying to remember the beats of that game. Hold on. How did they lose to Tampa? I think it was.
Wasn't a Baker drive?
It was a last second field goal, but it was, that's what it was. So it was a Baker drive, but it was a crazy circumstance. It wasn't really a Baker drive. Baker had a drive. This is how that game went. That game was crazy. In the fourth quarter, it's 28-28. Darnold leads a 99-yard touchdown drive to go up 35-28. Baker answers back with a 5-play, 70-yard drive to tie the game with 1:08 left, 35-35. They then picked Darnold off and then got a field goal at the gun. So one of the Seahawks losses was week 1 by 4 points. The other one, they're up 7 with 90 seconds left and lost in regulation. So, they've been just a legit excellent team all year. They haven't had the toughest of competition up to this point. Beat the Steelers in week 2 and then Saints, Cards, Jags, Texans, Commanders. But I believe in the Seahawks. And, one of my picks this past week was Seattle -3 on Sunday Night Football. They were up 28-0 in that game.
So you're sticking with them in the playoffs, even with Darnold. That doesn't make you think any type of way or take back.
I'll be a little anxious. Until you see a guy play well in the playoffs, you're going to be a little anxious. But he was so good last year, and his aunt followed it up this year by being so good without Kevin O'Connell. At some point, I just got to give the guy credit. Yeah. Hey, guys, you ever notice how everything keeps going up? Rent's going up, streaming services going up, even your favorite burrito spots charging you extra for salsa. What with Boost Mobile, you and your phone bill don't have to pay the will this go up soon game. Why? Because Boost Mobile is unlimited talk, text, and data plan at a price that'll never go up. In fact, same price you pay for life. So switch now for unlimited wireless at a price that'll never go up, only at Boost Mobile. After 30 gigs, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 per month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan. All right, Damonza, let's go to Kyler before we get to the listener questions.
Since we talked about him on Tuesday, he's been benched. Arizona named Brissett as their guy. You said Kyler would never play for Arizona again. With that said, is this a Kyler problem or is this a Cardinal problem?
I probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
But Kyler's not the guy. You can't be. Just think about it, guys. We have heard plenty of stories about his lack of leadership at that position. The team put in a work ethic clause in his own contract, and he's undersized and gets beat up. That's not a recipe. And so the only way, Damonza, he plays for the Cardinals again is if at the end of the year they fire Gannon and the new head coach, is like, I can fix him. But Jonathan Gannon can never go back to Kyler Murray. That's done. And I would be looking, if Rodgers retires, the Steelers are a real candidate. The Browns are always a candidate. The Jets are a candidate. The Raiders, if they go full rebuild and want Kyler as a bridge, they're a candidate. But he's not going to be on the Cardinals.
The Royals.
Oh, he goes to baseball?
Yeah.
No, I don't see. I think that ship has sailed. He was a great baseball player. But I think that ship has sailed. And the Cardinals feel like, that the offense runs better with Jacoby. So good for Jacoby.
It does.
It just does.
Yeah,
and it does. It just is what it is. All right, let's get to listener questions, Damonza.
Giannis tweeted this out yesterday. He He said, as I sit, I'm loading the tweet. Random thoughts as I sit in my living room. Do I have college eligibility? Can I suit up for Marquette tonight? And the question is, how
Yeah.
many points do you think that Giannis would drop in a college basketball game?
Oh, I mean, I think he'd average, you know, games
38.
are shorter.
Oh,
What'd you
no.
say?
Yeah, they are short. I was going to say like 38. So it's probably like in that 30,
I was going to
35
say
range.
40. No,
Oh,
I was
40.
going to say 40. I mean, he's averaging 34 in the NBA, but the games are like, no, I think he'd
Right.
average 40 easy. I think
Hey,
he'd average 40
dribble drive.
All right, next.
Scott asked, for next season, should the Jets ride out Justin Fields' contract, draft and start a rookie, or trade for Kyler?
So I'm trying to see for Justin Fields what if they cut him. They cut him, it's 22 dead. I mean, they obviously can't just go into week one as Justin Fields their week one starter. Now, could he be the backup? If they do draft a guy, could they use Justin Fields as a bridge? Maybe. But I think that's probably done. I wouldn't trade for Kyler if I'm the Jets. The Jets have to find their quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, next.
A different Scott asks, if it's Casey in Buffalo at the route for the AFC championship.
That's what they're calling the stadium in Buffalo.
Oh, okay. At the route for the AFC.
It used to be called Ralph Wilson Stadium. Now it's called like Highmark Field. But so that's what he's talking about.
Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a different Scott asks, if it's Casey in Buffalo at the route for the AFC championship game, will you go to the game this time?
I will not.
Yeah.
I have no interest in that. I will absolutely not go to the game. All right. I have a really good feeling about our pick show this week. I liked the games a lot. I liked them a lot. Last week I said I liked them a lot. Went 3-2. So frustrating though, because I do the picks here, pick 5 games, and then I pick 3 of the 5 games from here to do on TV. We went 3-2, and 2 of the 3 games I picked were my 2 losses.
Oh,
so I went
geez.
1-2 on TV and 3-2 here, which is frustrating. So pick show coming tomorrow, so you don't miss it. Like, rate, subscribe, review, but subscribe to the channels on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube, all that. Also, we'll be sending out, specialty videos for our biggest listeners on Spotify, so be on the lookout for those. A big thank you, as always, to SeatGeek, Hard Rock Bet, Boost. Thank you to Volume. Thank you to Blue Duck. And, of course, a huge thank you to our friends at Zen. See you guys tomorrow for our gambling show. What's right?